Hi, and welcome to my episode number 27 of Free to Play Domain, where, you know the deal. If you don't, feel free to check out previous videos. Basically, guarded by a bank pin is my bank, a bank of which lies currently 40.6 mil. In recent episodes, I've been getting my total level up to build my account a little bit more. I want to continue doing that, but more to my bank, I think, at this point, honestly. I like where I'm at, but I definitely want to be able to get more money. The last couple months since school started back up, basically, it's just been hard for me to make cash because during the week I have stuff to do, and then on the weekends I can't do revs. So, since spring break has started for me, I'm going to go ahead and just do a bunch of revs. I have 10,000 ether right here, along with the crossbow, of which I'm going to use it with. I don't have a whole lot else. I basically just have a lot of money in supplies, some random 3 to 5 mil maybe, and then a crossbow. What I'm going to aim for is I'm going to try to get this loot tab up to about 5 to 6 mil, then buy myself a Din's bulwark. That way I can defend myself, but we'll see what happens along the way and if I can actually get there with this much ether. I'd hope. Sometimes revs are rough. All right, time for the sad truth. Go ahead, throw this thing on in here. Yeah, I didn't make any money. All my ether's gone. All my items are gone. I did a little bit of Venenatus. I got my kill count up to 73. I think it was about 50-ish. And basically, I went and tried to kill revs on stream during peak hours on a weekday. You know, it was a weekday, so I was like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. Definitely wasn't worth it. Probably not going to try that again for a while. Didn't make much money. Getting closer to a range level, though. I mean, you know, even amidst the loss of money, we are still only 180k away from 90 range, which is a pretty significant milestone. We're going to look to AFK something a little bit as I kind of need to chill out after all of my deaths at revs, you know? Need something to kind of hang out with. Hanging out here with the crossbow, doing a little bit. Up here with the crossbow currently. Been struggling a little bit. These PKers have been going at it for a hot second. So, one dude did just get an ancient relic, though. He's hanging out near me. Nice little 16 mil drop. It's always fun seeing other people get stuff, you know? Can't really complain, though, I guess, since I have a chain mace in my name. Could have been a bow, but who's complaining? Not me. Just hoping to be able to bank a couple trips. The last trip I was here was going really well, but then a team of dark bows came in, and pretty hard to defend against, I won't lie, at least until I get this Din's bulwark. Also very unpredictable. So after last night's horrible adventure out at the Rev Caves, I have since been able to recover a little bit. Right now, still have the crossbow. I'm going to sell off most of everything that I have. Basically, in loot, I have another 400k in here, and then in my backpack, I have about 4.3 mil. 1 mil of that is not loot. These prayer potions, super stores are just stuff I'm selling that I had before. The rest of it, pretty much loot. So, looking at about 3.7 mil or so in total loot. I'm going to sell it now in an attempt to try to get a bulwark. I think I can scrap enough, and if I can, should be able to survive a little easier out at the Rev Caves. I have had a couple times where I died to teams of 2 or 3, and really, I think the bulwark's good up until you get about 4 or 5 people on you. I mean, at that point, you know, they're going to do it to you, especially when you're as low of a level as I am with 75 defense. Not ideal. So after scrapping up as much as I can, I think now I should be able to buy it, hopefully, if it isn't too much over the GE price. There we go. All right. Got 50k back, and that'll be able to buy me some ether. Had to sell off a decent bit of my reserves, so, we're rough on it right now, but this is definitely what we're looking for. A nice big old shield. You throw it on block. You can't attack anything, so, you know, I'm just a big old piece of meat filled with a loot hanging out in the wilderness like a little piñata. Hanging out up here at Revs. Got a decent bit of loot. I mean, honestly, I probably made like $1.5 million so far. Have died a couple times, but it's been a lot better than I could have imagined. The Din's bulwarks definitely saved me from a few teams so far that have just kind of offed me, and that's been really cool. One that I thought could definitely kill me, but they still just got off. So really good in that regard. And also, I mean, the magic shortbow as like a decoy is very, very useful. Would highly recommend. Just it's so worth just bringing. Not good for killing, obviously, but good for a distraction. So instead of Revenants and dying, I decided to opt towards Motherlode Mine. First time here on the account. If you guys don't know what this is, you can find it by going to the Mining Guild teleport on the skills necklace and then running inside this little tunnel over here. It's basically a mining area that's a little bit more AFK than your normal mining. It all is centered around this little structure in the middle where you want to throw all of the things that you mine, all this pay dirt that you can get from the side of these walls. That's 51 mining as well. no necessary unlock there, but gonna keep on doing a little bit AFK stuff. You can also go up here, but that's far later down the road once you have a lot higher mining level, and up there it's actually a little bit more AFK, and the ore actually goes away on a second basis instead of at random, so it's a lot more predictable. But just throw my pay dirt on in here, and then we can see that we get some ore at the other side, and if we're lucky enough we can get a gold nugget as well. We'll see if that happens to be the case. It is indeed. So we go over here and talk to Prospector Perry, and this is all the stuff he has. Basically a nice little mining outfit that we'll work towards. We need the full mining outfit to be able to do the Falador Hard Diaries, which is a requirement. Well, not a requirement, but in my eyes, a requirement for Mole, because Falador Hard Diary makes it so much easier. In addition to that, a bag you can hold coal in, a bag you can hold gems in, and then just some random stuff you can buy. So I'll be aiming towards this, but we'll see where I can go in regards to my mining level. So I was only able to stay here for a little bit. I mean, honestly, the levels here don't come all that quick. I'd rather mine like iron if I'm going to try for levels, but I do definitely need these gold nuggets eventually. So closing out on 54, I'll eventually get 55 just to round it off a little bit. But now I'm going to go do Tears of Guthix, hopefully get, well, I will get some farming XP, but hopefully up to 30. And if I can get 30, I'd be pumped, because then I could do willow trees, but I think I'm going to get 29. 31, damn. All right, well, underestimated. Very nice. So that unlocks me a decent little bit here, as we saw strawberries, more importantly, willow trees that I can also plant. So I'll probably do willow trees and apple trees, not the greatest, but definitely something. Tend to go more for the trees and fruit trees, since I'm going more for XP rather than profit. Eventually I could do herb runs if I wanted to, but honestly, I don't find them to be the most fun. I've done plenty of them in my day. I'm kind of tired of them. Iron Man kind of wore me out on them, so won't be something I'll be dealing with too much, but definitely something you could do if you're trying to, get a little bit more cash on the side. Speaking of cash on the side, well, it's time to go back out there. You know what's going on. So just got on in the morning after a night session of revs, and what do I see my first trip? A nice little ancient emblem. Good to see a rare drop. It's been, a hot second since I seen the last one being the chain mace though, so can't really complain, but that is a nice little 500k, and in the rev tab's currently 2.4 mil. So I'm stacking up something, and yeah, I gotta probably go sell and get some ether. I'm running low. Man, it's kind of nice being able to pull off big trips like that and not die. Yeah, I died a couple times a day, but I've had some luck, I guess, in banking. So still stacking up a decent bit. If I throw everything on in my bank right now, it'll show that we're up to 43 mil. So, got a little bit of ether in here as well. So I also have a Dust Devil's task in my back pocket that I could do for a little bit of mage XP whenever I like. I'm trying to wait until I can get a few more mage levels before I do Zulrah. I felt like Zulrah was pretty achievable last time, but I want to make it a little easier, so we'll see where I go with that. But revs have been nice to me so far. So here we go, little referendum for my account and what I'm doing at the moment. Gonna chalk up revs. Basically, I want to start this video by just working on a little bit of cash, hoping to be able to get some more side money that we can use. And my bank is 43.8 mil, and I think I'm just gonna reorganize it. Really, I've been kind of putting off the farming because I knew that eventually I was gonna have to reorganize my bank, and I didn't want to reorganize my bank because as you progress your account, you go through so much different stuff that I think it's really hard to organize and keep it organized. But at this point, I've kind of progressed far enough to where I think I can do it. So this is my starting bank. This part's kind of organized, but not the best. And then it definitely kind of goes out of sorts. So this is what it looks like now. And in the snap of a finger, we're gonna see what it looks like afterwards. I'm not gonna snap my finger because it's cheesy, but I'll be back. On yet another birdhouse run. Kind of in the mood for some skilling. So this is a level. Before this, I did also get 55 mining. I know this isn't the bank clip that I promised, but is what it is. Kind of had some other stuff to deal with at the moment. So gonna get back to it now. It's a very scary task going into this bank and seeing what I can do with it. Hopefully it should be a lot more clean and a lot more empty. 55 mining doesn't give me anything in particular, but gets me a little closer to 60, which is ultimately the goal for quest. And also 61 for the dragon pickaxe. Working towards there, but So the start of this birdhouse run is going to be a little interesting. Basically, I'm about to get 59 hunter. I went from 57 to 59 doing the falconry. I just wanted to be able to just speed ahead through it and get to U birdhouses. That way, whenever I reorganize my bank, it'd be a little easier for me, and I wouldn't have to change that in the near future. So, U birdhouse is unlocked, which means obviously we'll be making oh shit. Okay. So. I misclicked right there. I meant to click my seeds and use the seeds. Instead, what I had to say was that we also completed an elite clue. I just had one sitting in my bank and I decided to give it a go. Wish I had more of a build up for that, but 100K, not great, you know, but not crazily happy with that, but we'll take it. And I'll see you guys at the bank in a second. Obviously, these new items that I just threw in here create a little bit of a distraction, but we'll go through each tab. So starting at the end, this is my junk tab. Nothing in here of note, really. I mean, just, you know, my junk. Clue scroll tab, where I'll keep items that I use for clue scrolls. Bird nest tab that I'm currently holding up for bird's nest, obviously. I also have my Rev/Venenatus loot tab that I have thrown up in here so I can keep a good track of that. In addition to that, I have all my potions 3 through 1 dose in this tab, along with a skilling tab next to it that is pretty bare at the moment, but honestly I don't have a ton of skilling stuff in my bank, so perfectly fine, kind of minimalist type stuff, so happy with that. Nice tab for my leftover charges on all of the amulets and just jewelry that I use, along with a small start to a Slayer tab. So Slayer drops just kind of come at random, and there's an absolute ton of them. No way I can really prepare and create a tab for it, so I'll just let it happen as it may be. And then we have the main tab that is very, very small right here. So, I mean, you know, doesn't look a whole lot different than before. I did change it a little bit and definitely organized it more, but yeah, my main tab's just everything I like, all the teleports I'm going to need, potions, gear. Definitely very convenient for getting around the game and being able to access stuff that I need quickly. Down here I kind of have the leftovers of my main tab, like stuff I actually do need to use for Slayer and whatnot, and stuff I'd like to keep near me at all times. And yeah, I mean, really just being able to have a clean bank allows you to play the game in a much more efficient way, in my opinion, and definitely makes it a little easier to do stuff like farming, birdhouse runs, things that really make you search around your bank. Once they become a little easier like that, you can definitely have that added motivation to do it. So, glad to have it out of the way. It was a monkey on my back for a while. So currently coming at you guys kind of with the level. As you can see on my screen, I have 77 cooking. The screen's kind of just enlarged, but you'll get the idea. Basically what I'm doing is I'm cooking raw Karambwans, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm kind of looking for something I can both AFK and do if I want to pay attention. So, you know, I could just sit here and cook all these regular ones and just let it go naturally. Now, as you'll see, whenever I cook one Karambwan on here, as soon as I press 2, I get an XP drop. That is significant because the non-AFK way of doing this cooking method is by basically just spamming and cooking them every second. So as you can see, I'm going to hold on to the button 2, and I'm just going to go back and forth. And I've been kind of mixing up how I do it. You got to stay in a little bit of a rhythm, or else for some reason it kind of stacks up and doesn't allow you to do it, but that's fine. Here I'm keeping a decent rhythm, but as you can see, yeah, XP just flows in. Pretty sick. Overall, you can definitely net over a mil XP an hour here if you are constantly doing this and very efficient about it. Personally, I'm nowhere near that because I'm trying to, you know, do it a little bit more chill, but at the same time, feel like whenever I'm going, I feel like I can hit at a good clip, so quite an intriguing way on how to level up cooking currently right now at 77. Gonna probably push to 80 just to round off cooking. And with the final few Karambwans here, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves AT cooking. And then I'm going to move on. I think now I'm going to spend some money because, well, I've been getting all this money. I feel as if I need to put it to use. I can now cook sharks. However, I won't be doing that, obviously. I'll be moving on, selling off my Karambwans. 7 in construction is in an attempt to hopefully one day get 83 so then I can make my house really, really sick. And since I have a surplus of cash at the moment, why not? Arthritis Simulator's going well. 67 construction coming in there. Obviously, I'm hitting a lot of unlocks here. Construction really just has an absolute ton of things. So, can't talk about everything in particular, but I mean, what we're really aiming for is a lot to do with our garden. Eventually, I'll actually build out this house once I feel as if I hit the stage where I can build an efficient house, which is partially based around the ornate rejuvenation pool and the fairy ring. So, You can get those from 83 with boost, so I don't actually need to get up to 90. It will cost me a significant amount both to get to 83 construction and to actually be able to build all this stuff in my house. So it will be a hit to the bank, but that's why we do the revs. All right, so after a decent bit more of construction, this is going to be 70, so feels good. Nice little 10 levels done there with construction. I can now build a dungeon, which means I think I can now also build oak dungeon doors. Oak dungeon doors are actually 74, which is really the next progression up from building oak larders, and I will be doing the dungeon doors from 74 to 83, but not right now. Got some decent levels there, but now I think big picture, not something we'll be able to do this episode, but long term is I really want to get my strength and slayer up a little bit more. In addition to that, I'm going to start including the farm runs since now I have an organized bank and I can start doing tree runs on a daily basis. That's really the thing holding me back from the diaries, in addition with a little bit of rune crafting that wouldn't be too hard to train. So I think I'm going to go spend this 28 mil on a bunch of Slayer gear and outfit myself pretty well, and then we'll do this Dust Devils task. Out here doing Mage Arena 1, I just saw a PKer come by. He just, yeah, I don't know what his plan was. I don't know if he wanted to kill me. He started barraging one of these, and then he kind of gave up and left. Understandably so. I mean, I don't have much. But doing Mage Arena 1 because I will be able to get a decent mage cape for this Dust Devils task. I haven't gotten it yet just because I haven't done a lot of combat with magic, really. I mean, I haven't had any use for it for the most part. Will be useful, though, for us, and should be able to get it here in a second. Alright, so took me 87 spells, not too much at all, and going to go on through, see which one I want to get. Probably go with the blue, I think. I'll go with the Saradomin just because my ancient book's purple and, you know, I don't want it to clash with anything. Makes sense to me. I'll grab a few of them, actually, just, you know, just in case I ever happen to lose some. Why not? So I just got done with my Dust Devil task and got a Fire Giants for my next one. So you may be wondering, why is he invisible with a flax? That's none of your concern. Didn't record the last clip that I tried. This is going to be where we end off this episode. Basically, I finished off my Fire Giants task, and now I have a Greater Demons one. No levels to be seen there, but I am closing in on 77 Slayer, and definitely going to be moving up in that regard. The bank is at 40.3 mil, about where we started, but we also obviously did get our construction up and other skills as well. Total level moving in on 1600, 1571 at the moment. And yeah, I have been streaming a little bit more recently, so if you guys would like to check that out, I won't be live today. However, I will be live tomorrow. Links in the description below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Anything you guys want to tell me, let me know in a comment down below. And if you guys like this video and want to see more as soon as they go live, make sure to hit that subscribe. With that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and